So what is anonymous about an anonymous function in MATLAB? In order to understand that, let us look at a user-defined function. I define a function known as drawCycle, which has input arguments of radius and the center of the cycle in x coordinate and y coordinate, which are needed in order to draw the cycle. So as you can see, it has a name. For an anonymous function, it doesn't have a name at all, but rather it has a function handle. So before we jump into that, let us see how a normal user-defined function operates. So I'll just call my draw cycle. I want to draw a cycle of radius 6, which is centered at 0, and that is my cycle. So for anonymous function, as I said, it has a handle. The handle can be any variable. Let me call it f. For defining an anonymous function, you need to have the @ symbol. Then you open parentheses and insert your input arguments. So let me have like 2 input arguments in x and y. It can be any variable. So then you define the output of your anonymous function. So I want it to return x squared plus y squared. So that is my anonymous function. So if I want to call the function, let me call the output as out. Then I'll call the function handle, which is f, and then I'll give it, for example, 2 and 4. And I expect it to give me 20 because 2 squared plus 4 squared is 20. So that is the correct answer. So if I want more than one output, so you can do that with anonymous function. So let me have another function handle, say h. So I'll just use the x at x and y. Then for multiple output, the key part is using the deal command. So it will have your outputs if it is output 1, 2, 3 up to output n. So for this case, let me just have 2 outputs. So the first output, I want it to be x squared plus y squared. And the next output, I want it to be x minus y. So that is my new function handle. And in order to have the 2 outputs, since I have 2 outputs, instead of using one variable, I will use 2 variables. I will have at 1 and at 2. At 2. And then I'll call my handle h, and then I'll give it 2 and 4. Again, you can give it any number. And then I will expect 2 outputs. So the first output is 20, which is for the first defined output, and the second one is -2, which is for the second defined output. One beauty of anonymous function is you can turn a user-defined function or an inbuilt MATLAB function into anonymous. So for doing that, I know that I have an inbuilt MATLAB function not as sine. So let me do an example in its normal form. So for example, I will define angles between 0 to 360 degrees using the line space. So I'll have 0 and 2 pi. MATLAB by default will give me 100 points between 0 and 360 if I leave it like this. But if I can add a third argument to specify the number of data points I want. For example, I want 1000 for precision. So now I want to plot the angle in x plane and the sign of the angle in the y plane. So I will call angle, which is the argument. I want it to be a red, and I want the thickness to be a bit thick so that we can all see it. So let me 3, and that is my plot sinusoidal wave. So now let me turn this sine function into anonymous. So let me call the anonymous function j, and I'll just say at sine. So now I can plot again. Instead of using sine, I can use j. So I will have plot angle. So now it will be j, which is similar to the sine because I have made the sine to be anonymous. I will give it the input argument angle r then my line width, which is 3, and that is a sinusoidal wave again. Apart from the inbuilt MATLAB function, let me now turn my draw cycle function into anonymous. So let me call the handle k, and I will say at draw cycle. So now my draw cycle is anonymous, and if I want to draw the same cycle I drew at the beginning of this video, I will just tell it the radius of the cycle and the center of the cycle, and then I will have my cycle. If you want to know how matrices work in MATLAB, you can watch the playlist on the screen. Please like and subscribe to the channel for more MATLAB tips. Thank you for watching.